What does a volcano, scrolls, and $1 million have in common? This. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted, carbonizing an entire library of scrolls in the town of Herculaneum near Pompeii. Archaeologists have been trying to read them ever since they found them. So that's where the $1 million comes in. A nonprofit called the Vesuvius Challenge has put up prize money for advancements in technology that allow us to read these scrolls. Today, we're going to recreate those artifacts and show you just how hard it is to read a carbonized scroll. Now, a company called the Roman Shop gave us all of these items for our experiment. Our first scroll is made from papyrus, and it's similar to the one found in Herculaneum, where they use papyrus and carbon-based ink. Our second scroll was made with parchment and iron gall ink. This is similar to another famous carbonized scroll found in Gedi, Israel. Here's a blank scroll that's about 10 feet long because many of the scrolls found were that length and longer, which is a lot longer than what we have. Now, as I mentioned, we have parchment and papyrus. Papyrus is plant-based. Parchment is actually animal skin. We want to test the different inks on each material, so we've got a little experiment here. We're going to prep these two scrolls by rolling them up nice and tight, just like they were in the library. Now I'm going to roll up the parchment scroll, and parchment, by the way, is also known as vellum. They typically use linen or leather straps to tie scrolls, and what we have here is 100% linen. We're going to load the tray with our scrap pieces in it first. Next, we'll load the parchment scroll. And last, we'll put our two papyrus scrolls in, and this is the one that we wrote on, the one that's going to be on the right. Now we're going to mimic the conditions that were in Herculaneum when Mount Vesuvius erupted. We're going to heat these scrolls up in a low oxygen environment. That's what happened when the town was covered with hot ash. The process of heating items up in a low oxygen environment is called pyrolysis. Now, when you run organic material through pyrolysis, it actually off-gasses anything that's volatile and leaves mostly carbon behind, and that's why it's called carbonization. Time to light the firebox. All right, the burn's done, and we've got 3 questions we want to answer. Number 1 is, did we recreate the scrolls visually? Number 2 is, can we unroll them? And number 3 is, can we read them? So let's get to it. Look at them. They look awesome. These look perfect. They almost look too perfect. Look at the parchment scroll. The papyrus scrolls look perfect. I did not expect this. I don't know what I expected, maybe more destruction, especially when you look at the scrolls recovered from Herculaneum. And we will talk about those differences here in a second. All right, let's grab the parchment scroll. It is just a blob. So as far as how they look really cool, but they don't quite look like the artifacts. And I think that's because the ash in Herculaneum just crushed the scrolls that were in the library. But look how much they shrank. Both of these scrolls were cut from the same piece of papyrus, so the width of it should be 12 inches. But what we're finding is the scroll that was longer or bigger is about 10.5 inches wide now, where the one that was a shorter scroll is less than 10 inches wide. So this one shrunk a lot more, even though they both started off at the same width. Let's get a measurement. 58 grams. Wow, it shrank a lot. What that means is so much of the weight of that was not carbon and off-gassed. I'm worried about this one. It's kind of slitting right here. I'm a little worried it's gonna break. 25 grams, so it shrank a lot too. All right, so our papyrus scrolls turned out great, but our parchment scroll, not so much. And I think that's because the Gedi scroll was burned in a fire, where what we did here is try to recreate volcanic conditions. So it was a lot hotter for a lot longer. And maybe that's why they didn't find parchment scrolls in Pompeii or Herculaneum, even though parchment was used in the Roman Empire. It's kind of silly to take a measurement here, because I don't even know what orientation it was, but it's about 8 inches, which is close to the original. Now let's get a weight measurement. 15 grams, significantly lighter. There's no way we're gonna be able to read this, so we're just gonna break it open, but let's look at the bottom. Oh, look how porous it is. Look how shiny it is. And we see that with a lot of protein experiments that we do. It's very fragile. Now for the moment of truth. Can we open this scroll and read it? First, I've got to try to get this string off without damaging the scroll. It should just tear. There we go. Okay, wow, that went a little bit better than I thought. Maybe that's going to give me hope, or false hope. There have been different ways people have tried to open these over the years. In fact, a machine was invented by the Vatican. The machine invented by the Vatican opened the scrolls, but it destroyed them, which is what we run the risk of happening as well. So here's our idea. We're going to use contact paper and try to get the scroll to stick to it as we unroll it. And what we're hoping is anything that does break, stays in place because it's stuck to the contact paper. Wish us luck. We're going to do a little practice run here with the scroll with no writing.
We're scared.
Yeah, we want to get this right. Ah, it's breaking already.
It is. It's so fragile. You need the contact paper to touch it before it breaks. But it's not very sticky.
It's not sticky.
It's not even going to stick to it.
No.
So because it's not sticking, I guess we could try the unrolling.
Okay.
We can break it as we go, which that kind of looks like
It almost looks like what they did, yeah. This contact paper is just not sticky enough, but we do have some fly paper we can use. Okay, so here's our fly paper, but it's not quite wide enough. It's like...
It's almost close enough though.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it.
Okay, so we gotta put this one here center. Okay. Try piece by piece.
Do you see any ink?
Words? I do. I see some. Yeah. You can see the word "the."
Yeah, and you can see carbonize.
Okay, so we'll try to flatten this
one?
piece. Yeah. Okay.
And then maybe lift it up and start it again?
Yes.
No, this took off 2 layers.
Oh no. This is why this method's not good.
Wait, no, that is the same layer.
Look, it says carbonized.
Carbonized the.
I say we keep going.
Yeah,
and see.
let's go. We're going to roll out the whole scroll and then show you guys the finished results.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, this one's not working. Yeah, the inside's getting worse and worse.
I think it's going to get harder and harder the tighter.
It does. And if only it was straight, but it's crooked, which a lot of the ones I found were crooked. If it was perfectly straight, this would work better.
I mean, maybe that's why they stopped.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because there are some scrolls, they started this process and they stopped, and then they've been using newer methods to read it.
I can see why they would give up. This is like our 4th page, and look at what it's doing now.
Yeah.
It just looks like ashes. There are still layers.
Let's grab this one right here. Okay, so we're at the point where it's just breaking off in pieces, and you can still read the text, but we're losing so much of it.
The closer to the center we get, the more it just wants to crumble.
So at this point, we're going to stop, and I think we've reached the same point that researchers did, where it just too much was getting destroyed, so they stopped, saved the scroll, so that maybe advancements in technology would allow them to read it more later. All right, let's look at the samples and the stylus real quick. So the stylus looks pretty well intact, but it did curl up a little bit. Let's get a weight measurement on it. 2 grams. So it lost a little bit of weight. As you can see over here, the parchment turned into a blob, so we can't read that one. I doubt we'll be able to open this. I'm hoping we can see what the iron gall ink looked like. That's the carbon ink. Oh, it's so hard to get open.
Oh, I can see it right there.
Is there a little bit there?
A little bit.
Oh, yeah. That's a little bit of that iron gall ink. It's bronze colored here, but not there. So the iron affected the color of the char. You can see how hard it is to read these scrolls, and that's where some really cool technology comes in. Researchers at the University of Kentucky have used micro CT scanners to create 3D models of the Gedi scroll made from parchment. And when they did that, the text really popped out because the ink had some high density material in it like lead or even iron. Now those same researchers have made 3D scans of the Herculaneum scrolls, but when they virtually unwrapped it, they couldn't see the text. That's because you have carbon-based ink on now carbonized papyrus. And that's where the Vesuvius Challenge comes in. They use machine learning to try to differentiate between the ink and the paper. They look for subtle impressions, maybe some residue, or even changes in the fiber of the papyrus. Now what's really cool is in 2023, they read the first word, and it was the word purple. Later in 2023, they read almost an entire scroll. With both of those breakthroughs, prize money was awarded. Well, now here in 2026, they've just announced they've read an entire scroll. So congratulations to the Vesuvius Challenge team and all the researchers that have contributed to bringing these ancient voices back to life. In addition to scrolls, Mount Vesuvius carbonized bread and other foods. In fact, we've done videos on those when we recreated those artifacts. Be sure to check them out in our Pompeii series and let us know what you want us to carbonize next. Don't forget to like and subscribe.